taking a look at the AlphaESS battery. Today, the G3 S5 inverter with a 10 kWh battery. There's some pros and cons about this battery. Its depth, so we've got 260mm off the wall. It only sits at 1170 from the floor, so it keeps it nice and low. Restricted with space. We also need to keep in mind that 900mm clearance from our working space on this side here. We've got all the working terminals on this side today, as well as we've still got an isolator on the outside here to turn off the battery, but the PV DC isolator is behind this cover, so that needs to come off to access that switch. It's got the front display here, which you can set some parameters and also see how it's working and how the battery's charging. One of the cons with this is the battery modules are very heavy, and they do have just sort of one fixing at the back here. So if you were to stack another 10 kWh battery on top, it starts getting very high, and in a garage situation you might be restricted to clearances above for ventilation. The other one is it is actually a pro. It is actually stackable up to 60 kWh, but again you would need that working space. So when designing it, that layout, we'd have to make sure we've got that clear space to work on the terminals here, as well as other modules beside it. So if we were to put another one here, you'd need to almost put another one around 900mm away, so you can still work on these terminals here. So then that really is a bit of a downfall with that design, because then obviously we just don't have that sort of space in a small residential situation. But for 10 kWh storage, PV with 21 amps backup, DC coupled PV, I think it's a pretty compact unit. So this is what it looks like with the cover off, and to get to the isolator, it's in here. There's another PV array DC isolator in there under the cabling. A little bit tight to get to. The inverter spec gives us some information, tells us about the PV input, which says the maximum voltage range, which is important when designing the system, the type of battery, which is lithium iron phosphate, the range, looking at the grid output, 21.7 amps, backup output, 21.7 amps, and to IP65, so it can be installed outside.